Hello everyone, and welcome back to T's YouTube channel. Since everyone in my family has been home for quite a while now, there's one thing in particular we've really accumulated, and that is toilet paper rolls. One thing that I love to do is recycle or upcycle certain things around my house. So today I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can take one of these or many of these and turn them into something really cool. So the first thing that we are going to make today with our toilet paper rolls is something that's very practical. So I love listening to music, especially when it's nice outside. I love to play music, and I like when it's kind of loud sometimes. So what we're going to try to make today is a speaker. And I know what you're thinking, how am I going to turn this into a speaker? It's not going to be quite as fancy as some of the other speakers that we've seen, but supposedly it's going to amplify the sound. So what you need to do this is a toilet paper roll, an X-Acto knife or a pair of scissors, and a pencil to trace the line that you're going to be cutting. So make sure you're super duper careful when you're using the X-Acto knife, but you'll need a phone or whatever it is that you're going to play the music from. So you want to place it on top of the toilet paper roll and trace a line around it. So now I have this, I don't know if you can see this bit of an outline where my phone is. So now I'm going to be very careful and take my really sharp X-Acto knife and cut a hole in my toilet paper roll just on the line that I just drew. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just enough so that the phone can slide right in. Let's see. That doesn't seem like it's going to be big enough. Nope, I mismeasured, so we'll cut it a little bit further. Okay, so that should be good. So their sides are still intact, there's just a hole in the middle. And then the phone can slide right in like so. So what I'm going to do is play a bit of a song before I put it in, and then see if it amplifies the song. Okay, so we'll let the music play for a minute. Okay, now I'm gonna stick it in and see if it gets louder. I think that it might have amplified it a little bit. I don't think it was a huge increase in sound, but I think that that was a success. So now this can just sit on your bureau or your desk, and whenever you want to amplify your music, you just pop it in, press play, and you've got yourself a speaker. The next project that we're going to make with our toilet paper rolls is a really big flower. So when you see this final product, I think that it could be hung on your wall or hung like a wind chime on your porch, anything like that. So I would say, this is an estimate because I haven't tried this myself, but I would say you'd maybe need 3 or 4 toilet paper rolls to do this. So the first step is to kind of fold them just a little bit, not all the way pressed, because now we're going to cut little strips out of them. So I'm going to cut up 3 toilet paper rolls like that into those strips, and then we'll assess and see how many we have. Cutting up all of my pieces. I've got quite a few of them, and they look like this. So it already kind of looks like a flower petal shape, and you might have noticed that I didn't measure them, but you could if you wanted them all to be the same size. So some of mine are a little bit skinnier than other ones. That's how I want mine to look. It doesn't matter however you want to do it, but you could measure them if you want to. So now the next step that I'm going to do is take all of my little pieces and arrange them into the shape of a flower. I think I pretty much have the shape that I'm looking for. It is not quite what I was expecting based on the picture, but I think that I like it. So now that I know exactly how many I need, and I only had 2 extras from what I had cut, so now that I know what I have here, I'm going to take them apart and paint them. So you could either color them, paint them, put glitter on them, or just leave it as the brown paper, whatever you'd like to do. I have finished painting all of my pieces, and to be completely honest with you, it took forever to paint all of these. So in hindsight, I would maybe suggest painting like the whole tube and then cutting it into pieces, because it took me so long to paint each individual one, and I had paint all over my hands. It was a mess. So anyways, now I'm going to set them down to dry for a little while, and then I will be able to put them together into my shape, and we will have our final product. It took a little bit of work and a lot of glue, but I attached all of my little pieces together and hung them on a piece of fishing line, so I can now hang this on my porch so it will twirl in the wind. I love this final product. All right, now our final project is to make a desk organizer. And so for that, I have 2 toilet paper rolls, and I also have a paper towel roll. So I like the idea of using this because then it can kind of change heights a little bit. So you might have some that are a little bit taller. So I have that. My original idea was to paint it, but I'm all painted out. So I decided to color some paper instead that I will just tape around it to decorate it. But you can decorate it however you want. So for this piece of the project, you will need the toilet paper, paper towel rolls, some method to decorate the organizer, some tape, some scissors, and also some sort of cardboard or something to make a base. So I have an old cereal box that I am going to just cut to make a base for it all to go into. So my first step is going to be to cut this the way that I want it. So you can see the height difference between these. It's quite a bit taller. So I think that what I would like to do is maybe cut it right here, and then I would have one that's taller and also one that's a bit shorter. So I'm going to fold it a little bit to make it easier to cut. And then I'm going to cut just straight across. So now it might be a little something like this, or maybe around this way, however you want to organize it. And you could use more. This is just the rest of my stock of toilet paper and paper towel rolls. So however you want to do it, I actually think I'm going to cut this a little bit shorter so that I can also have a really little one. I think I like this better. I like it like that. So now what I'm going to do is take my papers and cut them to fit accordingly on these rolls, and then I will cut them and tape them on so I can decorate them. I finished decorating and gluing together my container. And now I also cut out a piece from my cereal box, and I'm putting the organizer right on top of the cardboard side. And I'm going to take my pencil and now just trace around the shape of the organizer. And this doesn't have to be perfectly exact, just as close as you can. You might also opt to just do something like this so that it has a flat surface that's kind of bigger than it. But this is another option to cut it out. So I have kind of a rough shape of my organizer. So I'll cut that out. and I cut it kind of fast and kind of cut some corners, so we'll see if it actually fits on here. And you know what? It does the job. So now I'm going to glue on my bottom slab. Now that the bottom is glued on to my container, it is ready to be used as a desk organizer. So I have a lot of just office supplies around here that I can use, but you could use it for anything. You could put any sort of things in here and just load it up. I've got some paintbrushes, a pencil, a glue stick. So what a handy way to use your old toilet paper containers, your old toilet paper rolls, to make this cute new container. You can decorate it however you like, and now you will be super organized. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you try any of these projects at home, or you come up with a new way to reuse a toilet paper or paper towel roll, I would love to hear about it. Even better if you send me some pictures of it. Thank you so much. I hope you try these, and I will link my inspiration for each project in the description below. See you next time.